Hey gamers, what's up? Yeah, so I didn't expect to split this video into two parts, although I should have because it's like 30 minutes long. So I'm not really gonna do an intro for this one because like it's just a two-parter. You guys don't want to hear me talk all that much, so let's get straight to the video. Okay, gang, we are now on to layer 4, which is the bottom of the iceberg. So let's get straight to it. Aang's fourth child. No fucking clue what they're talking about. I guess some fan fiction maybe? I mean, I looked it up. It was some fan fiction question on like Quora, but like, there's no evidence of that. What are you talking about? Zuko's dragon egg. Zuko's dragon egg. That's talking about like how in Aang and Zuko's field trip, Zuko finds this big giant golden egg, and how did Zuko get a dragon in Korra? So the theory is that that egg is a dragon egg, and the last dragon egg too. Sokka is ambidextrous. I don't know what you want me to say about that. I mean, it's just him. It's just something about him. It's a fact about him. Momo is monk gyatso. So the theory behind that is some people. Well, yeah, Momo led Aang to Monk Gyatso's corpse, and so the theory is that Monk Gyatso reincarnated himself into Momo, and so that's who Momo is, and that's who Aang takes around on all of his adventures. Blue spirit metaphor. I think this is talking about some like in-depth character moments about Zuko, but like I'm not good at writing like video essays, so you'd have to look somewhere else to find an explanation on that. But I'm gonna try my best. So Zuko throws away his blue spirit mask, like once he's like captured Appa and set him free, which pretty much symbolizes how he's giving up his like hunting the Avatar way of life. But then guess what he does? He goes right back to it, because change is hard, you know? And Zuko was just not strong enough to do it. Love Amongst the Dragons. That is referring to the play that Zuko says the Ember Island players butchered every single year. I don't know how you do that. You must suck. And also, we see it in the Search comic book that I talked about like a few minutes ago. Yeah. And fun fact, it also contains the blue spirit mask, so that's where he got that from. Varrick is Sokka's child. That's talking about the character Varrick in The Legend of Korra. Some people think that he's Sokka's child, which the timeline doesn't really add up. Sokka would have to be ass old to have him in his like 60s. But I don't really believe that. You can believe whatever you want. Varrick is kind of silly like Sokka, but like that doesn't immediately explain that Iknik Blackstone Varrick is just a main character's child just because he's similar. Hama froze the ship. That's referring to this one scene in the Puppet Master where Hama is shown freezing a Fire Nation ship with her friends and like lifting it up into the air. And before that, we've seen it in the first episode where Katara takes Aang to, and where they are forbidden to go. So, yeah, it's just cool that we know who managed to do that. M. Night Shyamalan equals Ember Island players. I think that this is a funny theory because the last Airbender movie, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, some people have explained its suck-assiness behind it being not an adaptation of the show, but an adaptation of the Ember Island players' play about the Avatar gang. And I support that theory. I think that makes sense. Zula is left-handed. That's, again, just a fact, I guess. I mean, it's just something that makes her more special. I don't know what you want me to say. Korra's political ideologies. I guess that's referring to Korra's villains being politically driven, like Amon, obviously taking inspiration from some sort of communist revolution. Unalaq, wanting to rule the world as a religious figure, theocracy. Zahir, anarchism. And Kuvira, fascism. Because, oh yeah, and another cool thing I noticed, the elements correlate with their ideologies because Fire Nation was imperialist for a very long time, and that's the element of power. Air being the element of freedom. Kind of ironic for Zahir to want absolute freedom for everyone through anarchy, and then Earth being the element of substance and like order. having a very powerful government. That's just a little ironic. I don't know what the fuck they're going on with Unalaq because he's just poorly written, but balance. I suppose that's referring to how that's like how keeping balance in the world is like a central theme in like the job for the Avatar. Martial arts, that's kind of an obvious one because you ever notice how choreographed all the like bending is? That's because it's all based on certain martial art, like Tai Chi being the basis of water bending, Hungar being the basis of earth. Whatever this is, I'm not sure if I can pronounce that correctly, so I'm not going to. That's the basis of airbending, and then the Northern Shaolin style of fighting is what firebending is based off of, so that's what they're talking about. Okay, Serena Williams. So, fun fact, Serena Williams was a big fan of Avatar when it was running, and so they gave her a role in Ming, the prison guard that gave Iroh all that extra tea and extra rice and stuff, and the drill blueprint. Cool thing, you know the drill that was attacking Ba Sing Se? You can actually see the blueprints for that on the Mechanist's, in the Mechanist's room, I'm pretty sure. Or, yeah, in the Mechanist's war room. You can find the blueprints there, and I think that's kind of cool. A little nice bit of foreshadowing if you're a very diligent viewer. And then the last one being absolute fucking heresy. Avatar's an anime. That's not true. It's not Japanese. It was created in America and animated in Korea. So suck my nuts, nerds. Okay, now we're finally off of the iceberg and now we're in deeper waters. So let's get straight to it with Yue sent the space rock. Now the space rock that they're talking about is the space rock that Sokka made the sword out of and the one that Toph's metal bracelet's made out of. And so the theory is that Yue, being the moon spirit, sent that bitch down, hurtling towards Earth to make Sokka feel special because she knew that he was feeling unimportant, which, I mean, he kind of was. Even though he was like the strategist of the team, he was like pretty much inconsequential in a fight. You know, when everyone has like, is able to like throw a 50-ton boulder at you and you have no powers like that, you're pretty much useless in a fight. So, next entry is Kuzan, which is referring to Aang's old Fire Nation friend before the 100-Year War. I mean, nothing much to explain about there. He directly mentions him in an episode, so it's not like it's a secret or nothing. I don't know why it's so low. But I did notice that how since he's a Fire Nation citizen and he was a young kid around the time the war started, he most likely served in the Fire Nation army and probably killed a good bit of people. Zuko married Suki. I have not heard of this theory yet, but it's pretty stupid in my opinion because the only evidence we have of this and the only time they pretty much meet in the show is when they're on the Boiling Rock, and then in the comic books they become closer friends when Suki's like his personal bodyguard when he tries to get, or when he is almost assassinated like 5 different times. I don't see the basis for this theory, like, very much at all. Aka and Suki's tent scene. So, in the episode where pretty sure it's the Boiling Rock. I'm pretty sure it's the Boiling Rock. Zuko's trying to go to Sokka's tent to talk to him, and then here comes Suki, and they bump into each other, and he's like, oh, did you need to talk to Sokka? She was like, nope, and then like runs back around. And then when Zuko comes into his tent, Sokka's like, well, hello, and then he like has a rose in his mouth. And so, that's a bit strange in its own, but then when Zuko leaves, Sokka pokes his dumb ass out the head, and he's like, Suki, he's gone. And then Zuko's standing like literally right there. But then, in the morning time, guess what Sokka's making? He's making a flower necklace, and the joke is that he got laid last night, so that's what that is. Airbending runaways. Now, this is talking about how in the Air Nomad genocide, you cannot possibly genocide every like person you're trying to kill. That's pretty much impossible. You can't get them all in one go, but you can get like a majority of them, which is what Sozin did when he was killing all the Airbenders. And so there's obviously some escapees perhaps. And so throughout the Earth Kingdom, which is probably where most of the Northern Temple and the Eastern Temple went, that's most of where the escapees went, they would set up safe havens with artifacts in them, with airbending artifacts, and so them thinking, oh my god, there's more survivors. And they went there, and then the Fire Nation killed them because it was a trap, and they're dead now, and that's why Aang is the last airbender. Aang's foot scar. This is actually a cool piece of continuity because when Azula straight up murks Aang with lightning, obviously lightning is gonna find its closest way to the ground. And guess what's closest to the ground when Aang's like floating? His left foot. And so that's why he has a scar on his left foot. And if you look close enough, you can see that in like a lot of episodes when he like raises his foot or something. So that's cool. Pregnant woman in Zuko alone. This is talking about this one lady who you can see venturing around the Earth Kingdom with her husband, and who Aang leads through the Serpent's Pass to get to Ba Sing Se. And then her last appearance ever is when the Fire Nation marches into Ba Sing Se, and all hope is lost. So kind of a bleak ending for her to disappear in, but oh well, let's hope she's okay. Inbred royal family. Now this is a doozy of a entry, because in real life, most royal families are notoriously inbred, and to keep a pure bloodline. And so the theory is that's what the Fire Nation royal family did to create a perfect line of powerful firebenders to rule the Fire Nation. And so obviously some incest there. So Iroh is a spirit. Now I'm not exactly sure of what this is like meaning, because he is a spirit, because he shows up in the Legend of Korra as a spirit. So I mean, it's not like he was a spirit before. Ty Lee is an airbender. This one's interesting because guess who's bouncing all over the place besides Ty Lee? Aang is. And only airbenders seem to have really bubbly personalities. And so, and especially the eyes, you can tell which nation people are from, because airbenders have gray eyes, Fire Nationals have yellow eyes, Earth Kingdom citizens have green, and then waterbenders have blue. But guess what color Ty Lee's eyes are, even though she's a Fire National citizen, or Fire Nation citizen, excuse me. She has gray eyes. So the theory is that one of her past relatives was an airbender that escaped to the Fire Nation, because that's pretty much the last place they would expect an airbender to be. Oogie and the Oogies. So Oogie is Tenzin's sky bison, and where did he get that silly ass name from? Well, in the comic books, Sokka describes Katara and Aang like kissing and like being lovey-dovey and stuff as giving him the Oogies. So I suppose Tenzin named his best friend for life after his parents' love, which pretty sweet. Love and fear. This is probably correlating to Azula, because she wanted people to fear her and she thought that was the only way to control people. And then her brother, she sees her brother and people love him. And that's what breaks her mind, because May says, I love Zuko more than I fear you, and that's exactly what she thought her mom thought of her. So that just absolutely triggered her mind to just go. Speaking of Azula, we're going to talk about her blue flames, because that was never specifically mentioned how that happened in the show, canonically at least. Because they just explained it by, we wanted to highlight her flames while she's fighting, but like that's not a canonical explanation for it. So it's still a mystery why Azula's blue flames are blue. Cabbage Man wrote Ember Island. That's worded really weird, but the theory is that Cabbage Man got so pissed off that the gang was destroying his cabbage cart that he decided to write an entire play slandering them and making them look like a bunch of dumbasses. I think that's kind of funny. I like that theory. Wulong Forest. Wulong Forest is like the rock formations that Aang and Ozai have their final battle on. Probably right there, like big old rock towers. I'm not really sure why it's on here, besides the fact that I found out it was called Wulong Forest, and just the fact that it looks cool. Kylie is Amon's mom. Now this sounds like a bunch of bullshit right here. I don't understand why she would, because Yakone was described as marrying a Northern Water Tribe woman, and Ty Lee is noticeably not from the Water Tribe. Zuko's Sword Master. This is talking about how Zuko is like a master in like them two swords, and so where the hell did he learn how to use swords from? And I guess the theory is that Piandao taught him or something, maybe? I don't understand. Final entry for the second to last tier. This is Benders in the Opening, which for waterbending, it is Paku. For Earth, it is Roku's teacher, Sud. That's a great name. For Fire, it's obviously Azula. And then for Air, this is a bit of a debated one. I'm pretty sure it's Monk Gyatso, but it might be like... I thought it was Aang, really, but I'm pretty sure it's Monk Gyatso. Alright, gamers, we are on to the final layer, the Deep Dark Waters. And we're going to start this off with Appa dies with Aang. So the theory is that Roku's spirit guide, kind of, like his pet that he had for like forever, died with him. So probably Appa died with Aang too. So that's a bit of a comforting thought that they both died together, even though that he was like the last of his kind. So kind of sucks, but whatever. Okay, Jet and the Old Man's Sword. This is referring to the dagger that Jet captures from that old Fire Nation man that he just beat up for no reason. It's actually seen wielding by Smellerbee earlier when they were fighting those other Fire Nation bad guys. So he's a stank-ass liar, and you know he's the worst. So yeah. Avatar lovers reincarnation. This is talking about the theory that all the Avatar's lovers are reincarnated into someone closest to them. Wait, no, actually. The Avatar lovers reincarnation is the theory that each Avatar looks like the person that the past Avatar loved the most in their life. So, Roku loved Ta Min, his wife, a lot. So Aang looks a good bit like Ta Min. And then Aang loved Katara the most in his past life. So, what does Korra look like? She looks a bit like Katara. So, that's a bit of a cool little thing. Aang almost eats meat. Aang and the Airbenders, the Air Nomads, were vegetarians, so thought I should throw that in there. But yeah, he almost did eat meat when he had that feast with King Bumi. But I'm pretty sure I'm true on this. The Airbender custom is that you can't eat meat unless it is like gifted to you or it's offered to you in like a feast. So he'd pretty much be good for that. The Cabbage Man of the White Lotus. Here's another Cabbage Man theory because he's just a little goofy character. The explanation to this entry is the Cabbage Man is seemingly everywhere the Avatar and his friends go. So why is he always there? Well, he's a part of the Red Lotus. He's a part of the White Lotus. And he's been tasked with keeping tabs on the Avatar as he goes about his little journeys and trains to defeat Fire Lord Ozai. So, yeah, I think that theory's cool, and it's just a cool thought to give Cabbage Man, you know, some significance. Avatar Apocalypse. Now, this theory comes with every single, like, show, like, fantasy show, that this world that we're living in went through some sort of apocalypse, and the tectonic plates changed so much, that's the map right there. It changed so much that it turned into that, and that benders are a result of genetic modification, which is just as stupid as it sounds, because that takes away all the fun from the universe. So I think this theory is stupid, and if you believe it, you have a goober. Momo Robot. This is talking about the fact that when the concept art of Aang was being drawn, Momo was depicted as a robot, and he was only turned into like an animal like halfway through the concepting. Aang's chakras. I'm assuming this is just talking about how Aang was unlocking his chakras to access the Avatar state, and he didn't access the one where he had to let go of everything, and he obviously didn't want to do that because his friends and Katara, and he would obviously have a hard time with that. So I guess that's just what that's talking about. Izumi Symbolism. I'm assuming this is, or I'm not assuming, I know this is referring to Izumi's name, which someone figured out, I can't remember who it was, but someone figured out that the I stands for Iroh, the ZU is Zuko, and then MI is probably Mei. And so it's a combination of a bunch of names. And so that also solidifies the theory that Mei is Izumi's mother. Get wrecked, Appa's horns. I have no idea what that's talking about, so I'm just gonna skip over that because I guess they just changed shape, maybe? I don't know. Toph was supposed to be a boy. That is true, actually. In concept art, very far into the show, actually, she was supposed to be like a grown man with like a beard and stuff. But I'm very glad they changed it into a little 12-year-old girl who is blind, because it's way more badass whenever she kills everybody. Zuko alone parallels. I'm not exactly sure what this is talking about. I haven't watched Zuko alone in a little while. But I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I'd find some parallels between some stuff. I know it like draws heavy inspiration from Westerners. I know it draws heavy inspiration from Zuko alone parallels. I'm not exactly sure what this is talking about. I haven't watched Zuko alone in a hot minute, so I'm sure there's someone else on YouTube that could go in more depth and into more depth about this. So if you want to hear about Zuko alone parallels, I guess just look up a video about that. Guru Patik waited 100 years, which is, yeah, he did. He waited for Aang for 100 years, and if you look at a picture of him right here, you'll know that he looks balls old. And he is. He's like probably 150 plus years old. And yeah, so he's just an old ass man waiting to teach Aang about opening his genital chakra. Zuko's hair evolution. Cool thing, you know that yee ass haircut he had with like the ponytail and like everything else is bald up here? Whenever he cuts that off and like grows normal hair, his character growth is kind of symbolized within his hair, because it's all ugly and then it like grows, and then he has his hair tied back again into a bun whenever he's at the Fire Nation and pretending like someone he's not. But then whenever he joins the gang, his hair is all flowy. And so I think that's cool, you know, parallels with his character development. Sokka's wolf and moon symbolism. This one is the last one on the tier list. Or not. This one is the last one on Sokka's wolf and the moon symbolism. This one's the last one on the iceberg, but I'm gonna add something onto there because I wanted to talk about it. And so as we see in the Day of Black Sun, Sokka's wearing like a wolf helmet, and he's like wearing some wolf attire perhaps. And guess who his first girlfriend was? Yue, the moon spirit. And so wolves and moons, they always correlate, so that's just a cool bit of symbolism. And then the last thing I would like to talk about is something that not a lot of people know about, and it is Afiko. Now, who is Afiko? He is an air nomad who appeared in the Avatar: The Last Airbender short-lived trading card game. And what he did was he betrayed the air nomads by telling the Fire Nation where the Southern Air Temple was, apparently out of jealousy of Aang for being the Avatar. And this is part of my headcanon. He used to be the youngest airbending master, but then Aang came along and stole that from him. So that also fueled his, jealousy. And that led him to betray his people. And then he served the Fire Nation for about 5 more years into the war, helping invading the Earth Kingdom. Because we can tell that because of all the trading cards he appears on, he's always using his moves against Earth attacks. But then it's confirmed that Sozin killed him like in 5 AG, so sucks to suck.
Yeah, hey everybody, it's me like 2 weeks after I recorded this, or maybe 3, I forgot. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and this is something new I've done before. I might do more videos where I just sit in front of the desk and the camera just the whole time. I don't know, I'll probably think about it. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and almost at 400 now. Let's get there. But anyways, bye-bye.